My oaths betray each other till there's nothing left to keep.
Only Us by Miracle of Sound. Alright, welcome back to the Shardbreaker podcast. This is episode 9 of Words of Radiance. We did chapter 40 through 44 this week. I am Midnight, your host, and I am here with Mythic.
Hola.
And Darkness.
Hey.
So yeah, we're starting with chapter 40, Polona, and our
Paloma?
epigraph... Polona.
I heard
Paloma.
Polona, like bald.
That's Paloma.
So the epigraph is that they responded immediately and with great consternation is undeniable, as these were primary among those who would forswear and abandon their oaths. The term recreance was not applied, but since has become a popular title by which this event is named. From Words of Radiance, chapter 38, page 6. So what do you think could have caused the old Radiants to abandon their oaths?
Prior commitments.
Prior commitments.
You know, like
Like a marriage,
like
I don't know,
Bridge
that prevents them from doing anything.
prior commitments, like Bridge 4.
Like Bridgeport.
It could be that it. Well,
Well,
hey, if let's say, oh god, let's say an order, right?
Mhm.
Like one of the order thingies, they all collectively discuss the views of what they're doing, right? And they all also collectively realize how fucked up it is, and it goes against their code. Would that technically just make them powerless?
Would that make them what? Sorry?
Powerless?
Yeah, I mean, if they went to get their oaths, yeah, they basically by betraying their oaths, yeah, they got rid of their powers.
No, but the thing is, like, in their views, even though it's the right thing to do, in their views, it's betraying what they believe is their oath.
Yeah, that's a possibility. If they think like, yeah, like I need to do this thing for the right reason, but yeah, it's completely against my oaths. Like, say, like, if Kaladin was like allowing Dalinar Kholin to die would save the world, but obviously that's against my oath to protect him and to protect.
Maybe that's
people.
why they did whatever they did, you know?
Do you
Isn't he
think maybe
kind of doing that already?
he's not letting Dalinar die?
No, but he's definitely gonna let Adolin die.
Yeah, right.
You mean Elhokar?
He definitely isn't upholding his oath to the family.
No, I'm pretty sure he
That's
said
right.
the next time I see this motherfucker,
Oh, Adolin, yeah.
the assassin can take him.
But yeah, so we start the chapter with Shallan's point of view as she rides with Sabariel in his carriage from the king's palace. Pattern is humming on Shallan's skirt and she has to shush him so that Sabariel doesn't hear him. Sabariel is currently napping in the carriage, but he wakes up and notes that Shallan looks much younger now than she had in the king's palace, and her dress looks less vibrant. When Shallan asks if he has a habit of insulting young women, he replies that she obviously hasn't been trained to speak in court, and he likes that about her, but she needs to be careful not to insult the wrong people. They eventually get into Sabariel's war camp, his banner a golden sky eel made of his glyphs on a black background. She notes that she sees more civilians than soldiers wandering around. She also notes that the roofs are rounded, and Sabariel proudly says that he was told by his architects that they hold against the strong winds better, that the buildings even have rounded corners. He also mentions that all the residences are sturdy and permanent, and he goes on about all the different types of trades he has working in his war camp. Sabariel tells Shallan how he's been focusing on building an economy and gaining the money of the gem hearts from the other war camp soldiers who need something to spend their money on. He also mentions how he pays to avoid fighting, as it just means paying out to the dead soldiers' families. So what do you think about Sabariel prioritizing his markets and trades instead of focusing on fighting in the war?
The way he explains it makes sense.
I thought it was smart. You know, like that's one of the best things you can do during wartime.
What, nothing?
Profit from like the economy stuff.
I mean, to be fair, like there's 9 other high princes leading armies out to fight the war. He's like, I'ma just, instead of like having people die to get the gem hearts, I'm just gonna get the gem hearts through their soldiers' paychecks.
I'm just gonna get their hearts in marriage.
Oh my gosh. Well, apparently he can't get people's hearts in marriage because Polona refuses to marry him.
She's just one person, you know.
Yeah, that's why he has Shalong now.
Long song.
Once they arrive, Sabariel doesn't help Shallan out of the carriage, but a footman does. Sabariel also mentions how he tries to hate everyone equally, as he complains about probably having a room for her at the manor. She then sees a woman with curly dark hair standing at the front of Sabarial's manor. Initially, she thinks she is Northern Alethi, but when the woman asks if Sabarial kidnapped Shallan, she realizes the woman is Herdasian. Shallan instantly thinks that this must be Sabarial's mistress as she notices the dark eyes. Shallan bows even though the woman is dark-eyed, as she obviously is in charge of the house, and introduces herself. Sabarial and the woman joke back and forth with each other about Shallan, about how the woman won't marry Sabarial, and how he loves her even though he says loving someone is too much effort. The woman's name is Pelona, and she asks Shallan for the proper details of what happened, which Shallan gives. Pelona also asks Shallan to eventually tell her how much she implied Sabarial would pay her so she can make sure it happens. She also asks Shallan if she has a lady's maid, which she doesn't, but she does bring up that she'll need her men and slaves housed. Pelona says that they'll be paid out of Shallan's stipend and that she'll find a maid for her. Shallan is especially excited when she hears that they have water on demand from a storm cistern, especially water that can be heated. So what was your first impression of Pelona?
Seems smart as shit. Manipulating the system.
What do you think, Darkness? Pelona?
That's the place's name, right?
No, that's the
the
woman's
mistress's name.
Oh, that was her name?
Yes,
Yeah,
Pelona's her
Pelona,
name.
yeah.
I remember her. Like, I completely remember her, just not her name.
Yes, no, that is her name.
She's kind of what I think Jasna would be like if she were married. Especially to someone like him.
I don't think yes.
Which, of course, they're not married,
Somewhere
you know?
like Sabarial.
You know, it got me thinking, like, it's curious how her notes describe him.
Yeah, she like completely like writes him off.
Yeah, disregard. Which is crazy for someone like her, but...
So as Pelona leaves the room, Shallan thanks her, and Pelona just smiles and says this isn't the first time Sabarial had brought home a stray, and that some of them even stay. Shallan then sits down on her bed, noting it to be extremely soft and luxurious before fully laying down on it. Her trunks are eventually brought into her sitting room, and Shallan falls asleep on the bed as she doesn't have to worry about survival for the first time in a while. So do you think that staying in Sabarial's war camp will be good for Shallan?
Yeah.
Do you agree, Mythic?
Yeah, until she finds out that he's a ghost blood.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, everybody that she seems to get close with seems to have...
They are
have
working
ties
out of
with
his
ghost
war
blood.
camp, apparently.
Uh-huh.
So
Which,
chapter...
does she not, like, find that suspicious? Like, what's happening?
Well, they explain it as, like, his war camp, because he has all the markets and stuff, is the one that's, like, open the latest. So it's easiest for them to operate out of his war camp.
I wouldn't take that as a fucking...
Excuse, yeah.
Yeah.
So then we go to chapter 41, Scars. And the epigraph is, "This act of great villainy went beyond the impudence which had hitherto been ascribed to orders, as the fighting was particularly intense at this time. Many attributed this act to a sense of inherent betrayal, and after they withdrew, about 2,000 made assault upon them, destroying much of the membership. But this was only 9 of the 10, as one said they would not abandon their arms and flee, but instead entertained great subterfuge at the expense of the other 9. From Words of Radiance, chapter 38, page 20. So what do you think about the fact that only 9 of the 10 orders abandoned their arms and fled?
Maybe it has to do with the heralds.
Because
One
yeah.
was faithful. Probably the honor sprint, or the honor one.
yeah, this is implying that one of the 10 orders stayed around
Remained.
potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it is the honors one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the honor, well, for sure.
They're like, fuck, we can't leave.
Yeah, I don't want to break my oath. I've dedicated my life to it.
There is
No.
a hint at to which order it is in, I think, the next.
Well, I missed that
Epigraph?
hint, whatever that was.
We'll get to it after the show. I think it's either in the
Well,
next
you know,
one.
I've realized that as much as I wanna like figure out what the epigraphs are saying, I only realize them
Just
what they're
boring.
saying when you say it. So
They're very like fancily worded to make them kind of more vague.
I would
I think.
say, wait, vag?
Oh my!
Mm.
Leave it alone.
Leave what alone?
that's
Vag?
crazy.
What were you
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say before that,
vaguely
Mythic?
weird. Honestly, I can't remember after you said vag.
We switch to Kaladin's point of view as he stands down in the chasms of Bridge 17. Recently, the chasms were starting to feel more like home than his home back with his parents. Teft is down here as well, and Kaladin asks where he was last night. Teft replies that he was in the marketplace, and time must have gotten away from him since the high storm had come. Kaladin doesn't really believe this and wants to press further, but doesn't want to push too far into Teft's privacy. What do you think Teft is trying to hide here? Because Kaladin doesn't seem to believe his story.
A relationship.
He's not the guy later?
No, Teft is not the one that's
Later? Oh, okay.
working to go against Elhokar. That's Moash.
Moash, that's the dude's name. Okay.
Yeah, this is Teft. He apparently said he was at the marketplace the night before because like I think Kaladin said he couldn't find him when he like went back to the barracks after the whole assassination thing. Teft was like, "Oh, I was in the marketplace. I must have lost track of time."
I've got two things.
Mm.
It's either a relationship or he's a search binder. But,
You think
Wait,
maybe
is
he
it?
started getting his own spren?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't he tell Kaladin, though?
Why would you?
I
Tell
mean, that's why
Kaladin?
we gotta figure it out.
But why would you tell Kaladin though?
He knows about Kaladin's spren.
So,
I
no
don't know,
reason
they're-
not to tell him. He might be jealous.
So Kaladin briefly talks to Bridge 17, saying they weren't soldiers yet, but they would change that. He then leaves the leader at Bridge 17 and Teft in charge of starting practice. Syl stands in the air next to him, asking what he wants. Kaladin says he wants his men safe, but Syl says they are no longer bridgemen and are safe now. So what does Kaladin want now? Kaladin replies that he wants to beat the assassin as he needs to protect Dalinar. Syl presses that she knows Kaladin and this isn't the full reason, and he then goes on to say that he partially blames the assassin for him becoming a slave and bridgeman, even though Syl replies that Rashon would have done something else to punish Kaladin's father if he hadn't sent Tien off to war. So what do you think about Kaladin blaming the assassin for everything that happened to him because the war technically led to Tien's death?
Sounds like some very backwards logic, to be honest.
It seems like a pretty big reach to me because he's like, okay, the assassin killed the king, and because the king died, they went to war, and because there was a war, there was battles for Tien to be sent off into war too, and because of that, Tien's dead, and then I became a slave because Tien died. And it's like, Kaladin, this is a lot of steps that were in between this.
Yeah. At that point, blame Dalinar.
I blamed all the Light Eyes, though, to be honest.
He already is.
And honestly, as Syl said, like, the real issue is Rashon, and Rashon is like, he would have done something else to Kaladin's family if he couldn't have sent Tien off to war.
Oh, I'm sure, but I mean, I thought he hated all the Light Eyes, though. I thought all Light Eyes were.
Oh yeah, he does
bad
hate all
people.
Light Eyes, because he's like, every Light Eyes I've ever met has betrayed me. Which is-
I like when he talks about the women. The light-eyed women.
He's like, all Light Eye women are ugly because they're light-eyed.
Because they're Light Eyes. Yep. Really showing your racism there.
When he said that, I'm completely the opposite. I fall into your category, right?
You are not light-eyed, Darkness, yeah.
And I'm not a woman.
Kaladin then wanders over to where Sigzil, Rock,
Okay.
and Lopen are. Sigzil is talking about how people called the Parshendi uncivilized, but they had somehow gotten a Shin assassin who can surge bind. Kaladin asks if it matters where the assassin came from, but Sigzil replies that it does matter because it's a question and his master had taught him to ask questions. Sigzil also says that if they can learn more about the assassin and where he came from and who he is truly working for, they can figure out his goals and how to stop him. Kaladin then tries to run up the wall, but fails. Rock asks if Kaladin was sure he wasn't using the powers differently, but Kaladin insists that he had run up the walls and ceiling and that Adolin had fallen upwards towards the ceiling when fighting the assassin.
Gravity.
He also mentions the assassin flying away at the end, which gets Lowen very excited.
Also gravity.
Kaladin then asks for confirmation from Syl that the assassin is a Windrunner, but Syl isn't completely sure. She also shows herself to Sigzil as she likes him, and Sigzil seems amazed. So what do you think about Syl slowly showing herself to the rest of Bridge 4?
I don't know. I found it funnier that he was more like, "Wait, you're a woman?"
He's like, Spren have genders? And she's like, kind of?
Yeah.
Then she, like, copied his
No,
face.
she first said yes.
Yeah.
She straight up said yes the first time, and then she was like, "Well, I guess it's kind of your perception." And I'm like,
And then she made herself
So
look
is
like
it yeah?
Sigzil, and he got freaked out.
"Yeah, exactly." I'd freak out too if somebody just shapeshifted into me.
I'd want to, like, keep them.
Yeah, do some unspeakable things
Uh,
to yourself.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Kaladin
Sure.
then asks Sigzil if he knows of whether Windrunners could walk on walls and fly, but Sigzil replies that it isn't his specialty, that he isn't sure if the stories he does know are just tales or reality. As Kaladin tries to focus on the stormlight in him, the other three talk about who potentially cut the king's balcony railing. Sigzil tries to ask Kaladin if the railing could have been cut by a Shardblade, but Kaladin becomes so focused that he can almost see into Shadesmar. Suddenly, gravity changes for him, and he falls towards the wall. Kaladin runs up across the chasm wall towards the top of the plateaus, but he stops before he heads out into the open, even though Syl encourages him to continue. Kaladin says he needs to know if Dalinar is different, if Honor is dead. Syl replies that Honor is dead, but he lives on in the hearts of men. She also states that Dalinar is a good man. Kaladin says even if he thinks Dalinar is a good man, he needs to know for sure. Once he knows for sure, he will tell Dalinar about his powers. Syl asks,
Sure, he will.
Syl asks, what about Amaram? And he replies that he'll kill him, which upsets Syl. Kaladin's Stormlight begins to run out, and he falls.
I just never understand her fucking reasonings.
Yeah, they're a little off.
Yeah, like, oh yes, you go murder all these other people, but the guy who backstabbed and I think completely
it's
shattered your life.
It's kind of implied that it's because of his reasoning for wanting to kill Amaram. Like, him killing people to protect people, she's okay with, but him just wanting to go after vengeance for like his own like reasons, like she's not particularly fond
Okay,
of.
so what if he made the comment instead and said it's to protect everybody else from having that same issue?
I think it'd be only if he
Of him
truly
doing this
believes
to
that.
somebody else?
She knows that that's not truly what he believes,
I
which
don't
is the
know.
issue.
I don't feel like she knows
I think
very
if
much. to be honest.
Amram was straight up like tried to kill Dalinar, if he killed Amram in that moment, she'd be fine with it.
I don't know. I feel like she just doesn't even understand what herself. So
But the thing is, at that point, you could sacrifice the world for like thinking you're gonna protect it,
Mm.
and she'd be fine with it.
I think it's all about his like intentions and like his true feelings behind things.
This is why I don't. This
This
is
is
why I
why you
don't
don't
fuck with honors, friend.
oh my god.
You prefer the cryptics, where it's all about just like your
At
own
this
self.
point, yeah, I need a little pattern.
A little pattern. Everything has a pattern.
He could go spy on people for me.
You can
Oh my
pick open
god.
locks, find secret codes.
No, having a pattern in my life would
It would be amazing.
it would be insanely scary for everyone around me, including the authorities.
Oh my gosh.
Looting the authority.
I'm just saying, he could be very useful for illegal activities.
So Kaladin falls onto the bottom of the chasm, landing on his feet in a spray of stormlight. The others cheer about his drop down, although Rock only gives a small clap because Kaladin didn't land on his face. He then tells Sigzil that it was a shardblade that cut the balcony railing and that it must have happened after the high storm. So what do you think about Kaladin still being scared of showing his powers to people outside of Bridge 4?
He's got to get over that shit already.
So get over Avenger, that's for sure.
He's
Like
got to do
everyone
it now.
around him is like, just show people your powers. Like Still is, all of Bridge 4, and he's like, no, I refuse. They're gonna take it away from me.
I mean, you're not
thing is-
wrong.
They probably will if they can.
Yeah, they probably would try, to be honest. I mean, he's kind of traumatized. The last
And to
time
be
he
fair,
showed that he had abilities, it was like,
I'm
oh, hey,
kinda-
we're gonna, steal it from him.
I'm kind of hoping they do.
Damn.
What, take it from him?
Because then who's he gonna blame?
Himself?
Exactly.
Still
He's
gonna
going
win
back to
light
normal.
eyes. So Sigzil then suggests that a Shardbearer wasn't in the palace, but a servant could have let down a rope from the balcony for a Shardbearer to climb up, cut the railing, and then climb back down so they aren't seen.
Man,
Kaladin again.
it's almost like he knew.
Sigzil's just
It's
smart.
almost like he watches Disney.
Kaladin again thinks about how Moash was the only one he knows for sure was out on the balcony after the high storm. So he tells Sigzil that he'll investigate it himself. Sigzil then brings up testing Kaladin's abilities more, and Kaladin agrees, but says he may have to drain some of their spheres they are using to light the area. Kaladin also asks why they cleared away the rubble in the area, but then Sigzil shows signs that a chasm fiend had been through the area. Kaladin does begin practicing with his powers, but he feels unsettled the whole time. So do you think Kaladin and the Bridgeman will eventually encounter a chasm fiend?
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
So we then skip forward a few hours to them leaving the chasms. Bridge 17 was exhausted, but somehow still more lively than when they had entered the chasms. They were even more excited when they saw one of Rock's apprentices making stew for them. When Kaladin and Teft get back to their own barracks, they see Rock tasting the stew of one of the other apprentices. However, both he and Teft instantly feel something is off, as they can tell the men are forcing their laughs and sitting uncomfortably. Kaladin is on edge until he sees Renarin sitting by the fire, causing Kaladin to relax. So, at this point, why did you initially think Renarin was at Bridge 4's barracks?
I thought it was just talking to them.
Just came to hang out. He's like, I have no friends. Be my friends.
Makes sense considering how fucking useless he was in battle.
Damn.
He's pretty useless in general, so
Oh, that's crazy.
not just in battle.
So Kaladin asks Renarin what he wants, and Renarin calls him Sir and says he wants to join Bridge 4. Kaladin asks Renarin why he wants to be in Bridge 4, and Renarin replies that his father and brother are soldiers, but he isn't. He says he has a blood weakness, and Kaladin asks for more details, learning that Renarin is epileptic, but he doesn't fall to the ground and convulse. Renarin continues on about how he came to Kaladin's group specifically because they mainly patrol, so he can do any job Kaladin wants and still feel like a soldier even if he isn't out on the battlefield. He explains that people tell him that he doesn't have to fight, but then everyone goes back to fighting and the Ardent say that the afterlife is a big battle. Renarin also mentions that his father had Adolin work under a spearman squad for a few months when he was first training, which surprises Kaladin. Kaladin stares at Renarin, seeing how terrified he is to ask this of Kaladin, but how strong he was standing and staring at Kaladin anyways. Kaladin eventually gives in and tells Renarin to start washing the dirty stew bowls and then help Rock out. Renarin eagerly agrees and hurries off to do what he is told. So what do you think about Renarin joining Bridge 4?
Valid. As soon as he
Terrible
did
idea.
that, He jumped up to one of my favorite characters.
Terrible idea.
Yeah.
Not to do that.
But yeah,
No,
so
terrible idea to jump up to one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is
Terrible
one
idea.
of several things of why I couldn't show you Bridge 4 groupings, was because Renarin's in a bunch of the fucking pictures.
I figured.
There's a couple other things, but yeah, Renarin being in them was like one of the things where I'm like, oh
Like,
god, this
what-
picture has
what-
Renarin, this one obviously has
Renarin
Renarin.
becoming a surge binder also is one of them, right?
I have no comments.
You sure?
what's-
Just like
what's the dude's name there?
Electrum and Jasna
Backstab.
and
Yeah, what's the dude that backstabbed them? Backstab Paladin?
Too.
He's like the
Amaranth?
leader. No, he was the leader of the fucking thing. And then he was
Ramram?
gonna-
Rammer.
Amaranth?
I just said that, Darkness. He said no.
No, it's the person who was with
Thaddeus?
Is that his name? I don't know. The one that was with Shalong or whatever.
Oh, Gaz.
Gas, yeah.
Oh!
He's gonna be a member of the Bridge Force soon.
Yeah, probably.
So Moash then comes over to Kaladin, not happy about Renarin joining them. He says Renarin is weird, but that the real reason he shouldn't be with them is that he's a Light Eyes. Kaladin replies,
Weird, so don't let him in.
Kaladin replies that giving Renarin some self-defense skills will help them protect him, and Moash reluctantly agrees. He then asks what they're going to do about Amaram, but Kaladin replies that Amaram is his problem. Even though Moash says that since Kaladin is Bridge 4, Amaram is all of their problem. Moash says that Kaladin needs to fight Amaram in a duel, and says that he has some issues in his past as well, but he doesn't want to tell Kaladin tonight. Moash then mentions that he's going out for drinks and such with some of the other guys, and asks Kaladin if he wants to join them. Kaladin, however, makes an excuse to not go, and Moash reluctantly accepts it. Sil comes over to him and asks why he didn't go, and Kaladin says he can't live that life anymore. So what do you think about Kaladin not wanting to go out with his men to the tavern?
You can't live that life anymore? Fuck you mean? When have you lived that life?
I think maybe when he was a soldier in Amaram's army before Amaram betrayed him.
Oh, I feel, now that I'm saying it, I feel like it's more like I'm too damaged, I'm not able to do that, like, at this point.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I've done it too many times. It's more like, at this point in life, with everything that's happened, I don't think I can.
Yeah, I think he's kind of saying, like, I can't just be, like, a normal guy going out to the taverns with, like, my friends and stuff.
I understand.
I can't go out with these guys because, you know, the last time I went out and got myself
My
close
brother
to people,
died.
They all died.
Yeah, everything's just everyone, and then everyone died with Kaladin. If I do this, everyone dies. If I do that, everyone dies.
That's scary. That's like,
Scary way to live. You're not wrong.
yeah. It's like.
It's like
I don't know if y'all ever had these. I forgot how we even got these conversations though, but it was like, imagine every time you blink, someone dies.
oh
What?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the what if questions. Yeah,
Yeah, which technically is not wrong because there's deaths happening all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
but-
technically, yeah, people are being born and dying super quick, considering how big the population is in the world.
Midnight. Every time you inhale, somebody gets conceived.
Ew.
wow.
I'd rather have someone die.
Every time you inhale, you get conceived again.
No, ew. Anyways, we're moving on to chapter 42. Mere vapors. And the epigraph is, but as for Ishialin, he was the most important at their inception. He readily understood the implications of surges being granted to men, caused organization to be thrust upon them. As having too great power, he let it be known that the world would destroy each and every one unless they agreed to be bound by precepts and laws. From Words of Radiance, chapter 2, page 4.
Because with great responsibility.
What do you think it means that this person would destroy each and every one unless they agreed to be bound by law?
Sounds like a great guy, to be honest. You mean what, Darkness?
I'm just trying to figure out what like power players in general would need to be bound, because I feel like almost every surge binder is going to be falling into that category, and people outside of surge binding too.
Well, because it's saying that specifically, he understood the implication of surges being granted to men. So he like specifically was like, okay, men are getting these surges. We need an organization, because if you have too great of power, I'm gonna fucking kill all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, yeah, this is talking about like the inception of the Knights Radiance and why they were like formed into like these orders, and like why they like basically formed an organization under the Heralds.
What are the heralds to them?
So basically, I believe Sil shows before that the different orders of the Knights Radiant were based on the Heralds. So basically, the Heralds came first. Honor specifically gave the Heralds their powers. He chose like 10 people, gave them each like a specific set of powers. And then later, the Spren copied that ability. And they basically formed these different orders based on the heralds. So there's like one order per herald because that's who they based the powers off of.
Okay.
So Shalon wakes up in the evening of the day she had arrived to Pattern humming. She notices the curtains having been drawn and there was food left for her in her sitting room. She finds herself extremely hungry all of a sudden, and she tries to explain taste to Pattern, although she isn't very good at it. As she
Like
eats,
people trying to explain smell to me.
You don't smell very well?
No, I don't smell at all. I was
Oh.
born that way.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Taste must be
It's just tasting with your nose.
Yeah, but I mean, is it though?
well.
'Cause
The
people
thing
say
is,
I'm
though.
saying- I'm
they
saying
say
that
taste is connected to your smell. Your sense
Yeah, I
of
was gonna
smell.
say taste is connected to your
But
smell, so he probably
I think
tastes
that's-
differently.
That's what I continue to say, but I don't know. I feel like it's a common misconception. I think it's like a thought that people put in your guys' head, and then
No, it definitely is
like-
because when you have like a cold, when like your
the
sinuses are
earth is
clogged up,
flat.
taste is completely different. When you can't smell, your taste is
but
completely
your brain
different.
does some really crazy things. Okay, so you can't say that you know for certain that it is actually changed.
I actually have a friend who lost most of his sense of smell at one point. I believe he has said that tasting things is different from before he
That's
lost
what I'm
it.
saying. It's in your brain. We've been conditioned for so long to believe that our sense of smell and our taste are connected. So that if
That makes sense.
you think it's going to be that way, it becomes that way. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that like because I was born like this, everything has tasted the same no matter what. I've never known before. So how are you or anybody else to say that maybe that's not what it actually tastes like and you guys are just assuming it, you know? Maybe
This
I
is
can actually taste it the same.
Is this the argument of you're all wrong, I'm not wrong?
Well, I think
Kind
it's
of,
I
but,
think it's
I mean,
more so less
Or a philosophical
that
thing.
it I think maybe it's more so less that it fully tastes different. It's that it's like an experience of you're smelling and tasting at the same time, which
So it's, like,
changes the
cohesive?
experience
Yeah.
of
Gotcha.
eating or drinking something.
So
So for the people who can't
technically-
smell, it's like a 2-sense experience, where for you it's only a 1-sense experience.
Well, but technically, the mythic is right where it tastes exactly how he tastes it.
Tastes the
yeah,
same.
just
than-
we have a different experience of
Yeah,
taste because
it
we
tastes
have
the
it
same.
combined.
You just smell it so that you get a different idea of what it's
Mhm.
going to taste like.
Yeah, I guess it's less of like if
That's
taste is
that's the
different.
same
It's more so
thing.
the experience of eating is different.
It's the same thing as what's the thing that people there's a thing that somebody says like you can taste something if you look at something you could like know what it tastes like just by looking at things.
Or like you eat with your eyes.
Yeah, like you know
Type of thing.
like I don't remember what there was a thing about that that if you put a piece of carpet in front of somebody, right, and like they've never tasted it, like they've never actually chewed it or anything, like they've never felt it, they would still know what it would taste like.
I can't
just
say I
looking
haven't
at
done that.
What?
As a
eating-
child.
Eating
As a
carpet?
child.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely tasted carpet before quite a
I
few
have
times.
not.
No,
never
you've
been
definitely
wait,
done
wait,
it.
Wait, you've never been put on your face in carpet?
No,
As a child.
Really?
not that
That's
I can
crazy.
remember.
Are you an only
Exactly.
child?
You've probably done it. You just don't remember.
Are you an only child?
I am an only child, yes.
That's why.
Oh.
You never had brothers or
Yeah,
siblings
no.
to, shove your face in the carpet.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Yeah. Darkness and me definitely know all about that.
I grew up an only child.
Yeah, sure you did.
And then I grew up the youngest child, so
Yeah, she's trying to explain taste to Pattern. So as she eats, she reads a note next to the food that explains where her soldiers are, that her slaves have been incorporated into the manor staff for the moment. Once done eating, Shalon opens Tin's chest and sees a blinking span reed. Although she knows very little about the people Tin had been working for, it was her best lead to get information on Ethereal. Shalon sets up the span reed, but it doesn't start writing right away, meaning the person had probably stepped away as they'd been waiting for a while. Shalon then glances through some of the previous communications Tin had written, knowing there weren't many as Tin likely destroyed them every so often. However, Pattern notices a pattern, a code in the first sentence by both Tin and the other party. Shalon thinks that the code is quite complex and that she would have messed up her opportunity if the person had started writing right away and Pattern hadn't pointed this out to her. So what do you think about Pattern being even more useful now? He can not only unlock chests and stuff, but he can also find codes and written communication.
He just finds the patterns. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he finds all the patterns.
are
It's
they
great.
physical in Shadesmar?
Mhm.
Like, can humans touch them?
Yes.
Out of curiosity, do we know how they breed?
We do not.
They just become.
Ah.
They're just
Oh,
born
that would
to
make
be.
sense because of the way that Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like cognitive beings. So if people
Yeah,
think them
spawn
into
from the
existence, they exist.
I'm not asking because I've had some curiosities
Thoughts,
or
thoughts
anything.
about
Yeah.
breeding with them. Yeah.
No, I was thinking more of like, what if like somebody falls for this friend?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I mean, not wrong, but oh my gosh.
Alright. Well,
I wouldn't put it past it. It's human nature at this point.
feeling overwhelmed, Shalon begins to draw a version of
Definitely something.
herself to be. She gives the woman dark eyes, a more angular face, and dark hair instead of red. She breathes in stormlight and draws faster, and once she is done, the light causes the image to go over her face. She is shocked and goes to look in the mirror, although she notices a spot missed on her nose that bothers her. Shalon also tries touching her face and finds the image has no substance, and her fingers go right through it to touch her real face. Pattern tells her the illusion will feed off of stormlight. What do you think about Shalon using her light weaving to create disguises?
That's awesome.
And I'm pretty sure I stated this originally.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was what was gonna happen because she could change like what everything else looked like. Why couldn't she change herself?
Mm-hmm.
She drew the thing beforehand, right?
Yeah, she drew this. She drew the image, and then like the image
that's
basically
exactly
came
what
off
I
the
figured
paper.
would.
Yeah, so I
would
sent a little picture, which Mythic sent you to, of what Veil
Ew.
looks like.
Man, I mean, she could have come up with a better look. Like, goddamn. I'm
Wait.
surprised that people didn't just turn her away immediately.
She looks like an average person.
Yeah,
She looks-
turn her away.
She's a cowboy.
Yeah, she's wearing Bluth's hat.
Who's that?
Bluth.
Bloop.
Yeah, who's
Bluth was the guy that died. He was with the slavers.
Imagine that hat had a track record.
Wait, I didn't know Bloop had a hat.
Bluth.
He does have a. He has a bandana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a hat. It's a bandana.
Gosh. Shalon replaces one of the spheres in a light fixture with one of her done ones before starting to think of what she should wear with the disguise. However, she then notices that the Spanry has started writing. She correctly responds to the code, and the person tells her that the Ghostbloods want to meet tonight. As Shalon
Do you
replies,
think that Midnight hates us?
Especially
Shalon-
now that we're interrupting her more,
I heard a cat in the background.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my
that was
kid.
yours. That was your cat.
No,
Obviously.
it was Darkness's.
Obviously,
Enough!
your cat.
No! He's screaming at me.
Yeah.
That was just. I just whipped out my youngest brother voice.
He's screaming at me.
I've lost where I was.
Good.
She responds.
That's the whole plan.
She responds,
this is gonna take a lot longer than it usually does.
she responds
Oh, yeah,
correctly.
for sure.
Can I fucking talk?
Not at all.
She responds correctly to the code, and the person tells her that the Ghostbloods want to meet tonight. As Shalon replies, she's glad Tin had her practice forging writing, as she's able to easily replicate Tin's handwriting. Shalon then makes up an excuse about not being well because of Yasna's apprentice escaping, that she will send her own apprentice to the meeting in her stead. The person on the other side of the span read writes to the Ghostbloods briefly, and then tells Shalon they will meet with the apprentice, but she only has 25 minutes to get to the meeting place.
Wait, how does she know? How do you know he wrote to the Ghostbloods?
I mean, Shalon infers that from what the person.
But how do you know though? You're saying it like it's.
Are you part
Because
of
she confirms that the Ghostbloods say it's fine.
Are you a ghost? Are you a Ghostblood?
Maybe I am a Ghostblood.
Oh.
As
You
the
just
person.
got tricked.
All right. Well, I guess we can't be doing this podcast anymore. I can't affiliate with Ghostbloods.
I don't know. I think you might change your mind when you eventually find out more about the Ghostbloods.
Nah. Totally can't.
So you're
do
saying
that.
they're good people?
I'm not saying they're good people. I'm just saying I think
They're
Mythic's gonna
great
be very
people.
intrigued when he finds out more about the
They're
Ghostbloods.
great. They're great people. They're not good people. They're great people.
So as the person begins to draw a map for Shalon, Shalon begins figuring out what to wear with her illusion. She dresses in brown trousers, a white blouse, and a thin glove on her safe hand. She then puts on Tin's white coat and ties a black belt around it before putting infused spheres in her pockets to keep her light
I
weaving
have a
that way.
theory now that you said that.
Do you?
Yep.
What's your theory?
That the Ghostbloods are somehow connected to Nightblood or whatever the fuck the dude's. I can't remember his name now.
Basher?
That's it. Connected to Basher. Because him and Blood. Everything blood, Nightblood, Ghostblood, yeah, and it's definitely got a asphyxiation with blood.
I just remembered. I had a faint theory, and it's
Just
just like
remembered.
it completely like went over my head until now.
Mm.
Because I thought about it a couple of streams ago or whatever, a couple of podcast episodes ago, and I completely forgot. So I feel like the Ghostbloods or whatever are tied to, the people who abandoned that one dude in essentially hell.
The Heralds?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's either them, as foundation, or like their descendants or whatever.
Interesting.
And they're trying to. I feel like it's a different.
The way she just said interesting. Interesting. It's almost like they're coming up with theories that are correct, and I can't say so.
Or maybe you're very far off. Who knows? One or the other.
Yeah, right.
Just like
those are the two options. You're either far off or you're correct.
No. We've been doing this podcast long enough that I know how to infer from your.
Yeah.
Only
especially when she's like, that's crazy.
Yeah, just how like Yasna's totally dead, right? Totally dead.
She is.
Uh-huh.
Target stabbed through the heart. But yeah, so to hide the imperfection on her nose, she grabs Blue's hat that she had taken and puts it on as well. Shalon then grabs the map and heads out the window of her room, glad to be on the ground floor. So at this point, what were you expecting from Shalon's meeting with the Ghostbloods?
A sexual encounter.
Oh my god.
Whoa. But yes.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Chapter 43. Ghostbloods.
Wait, we didn't even say anything.
Yeah, because you're making fun of my questions.
Not making fun of your questions.
It's a valid answer.
We're making them better.
No, but like, honestly,
Honestly? You're never honest in your life, Darkness. Don't lie now.
Dishonestly, I didn't think it would work out the way it did, honestly. Yeah.
What were you expecting to happen?
I expected them to, which I don't think I'm wrong necessarily, but I expected them to realize that Tin is done for.
I mean, they obviously think that she's not telling the complete truth about Tin.
No, but I have a feeling they know.
They know?
Yeah, I have a feeling they know.
Interesting. What makes
and by feeling, I'm the one that told them.
No, never. How could you, Darkness?
They have good money. They promised me a Shardblade.
That makes sense.
Do you have any expectations, Mythic, the meeting?
Did I have expectations of the meeting?
Yeah, before you read.
Yeah, that she was gonna die.
I also was expecting a lot more cult and a lot less orderly meeting.
I was just kind of hoping that she was gonna go in there and get attacked, and then Kaladin was gonna have to come save her.
I was also hoping she would join the ranks.
Well, I mean, it sounds like she's gonna work for them.
I was hoping that after. Yeah, I was hoping
that. Yeah, but that's different. No, but I meant exactly how the dude offered it.
Become a Ghostblood. Yeah. I mean,
I
agree with her assessment though. That.
Yeah, I don't think he was actually offering that to her. I think she was right probably about the whole. If I take this, that I'm not to be trusted.
Yeah, especially since he had her followed after that.
She's not to be trusted in general then.
Because it sounds like Tin wasn't even fully part of the Ghostbloods yet. She still had an intermediary, and she was still trying to actually properly join them. So it sounds like you gotta kind of earn your keep to become part
Which
of the
means she kind of got lucky with that.
No, you have to be a what's the word? Traveler between worlds.
World hopper?
That's the word. Yep. Yeah.
No, that's a world finder.
World hopper.
That's why Yasna's going to become a part of it.
Even though they want her dead.
She's not dead.
I said they wanted her dead though. They don't want her to be alive.
She's in Atlantis right now.
I see.
No, she's in Shadesmar.
Yeah, she went to Atlantis through Shadesmar.
Ah, gotcha.
She's gonna come back full Elantrian.
Well, you can travel through worlds through Shadesmar, right?
Yeah, you basically go through perpendicularity into Shadesmar, travel across Shadesmar to another world's perpendicularity.
So
then you can
it's not a perpendicularity where you just go from one side of the world to a different world, right?
No, it takes you into Shadesmar. That's how you get in between them, is through the perpendicularity. And then you've got to travel fucking ages across Shadesmar to get to another world.
So what stops creatures like Spren from just going to a different...
I think it's kind of similar to Kelsier, where because they're part of the Shard's power, they need to stay close to the Shard. So they have to kind of stay in Roshar, because that's where their power comes from. But their
Shard is dead.
Wait, that's what happened to Kelsier?
Yeah, that's why he couldn't...
That's why he was struggling to leave the Scadrial area, because preservation's you're never going to be able to fucking leave. Ruin even tells him that too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
But
he wants to
Ruin lies,
at the
so-
very end of it. He's like, I'm gonna talk to Spook about getting a body back and like figuring all this shit out.
Yeah.
He's very
It'd be
like,
awesome. Wait, but then how the fuck does that work then? For humans.
well,
So wait.
humans, they're not like fully investiture. Like the reason Kelsier was stuck was because he like, in order to become a cognitive shadow, he like merged with the Well of Ascension a little bit. So he got kind of like way too much of Preservation's investiture. But like humans, they only have a little bit of investiture, so they're fine to travel between.
Okay, so how long can people like? How long could Kaladin, right? Kaladin, that's the word. That's who I'm talking about. How long could he stay in Shadesmar, and would he remain the same age same age the entire time?
So if you have, oh, you mean Kelsier?
Kelsier, that's the word.
Okay, sorry.
I knew it wasn't Kaladin.
Because I was gonna say Kaladin, as someone with a human body, would continue to age. Kelsier, because he does not have a body, he's literally just his soul, does not age.
So what you're saying is, it's possible that Kelsier will be in the next book.
Yes,
Awesome.
because he does not age.
Yeah. So he'll be in a body in those the Wild West times.
Well, the question is, if he gets a body, is he gonna start aging though?
But the
Get a
thing is,
body
at that
after.
point, if he's
Oh,
able
yeah.
to get a body, he's able to return it.
Maybe.
Able to return it.
Essentially.
I bought this body. I don't want it anymore.
Hey, where's the guy I got it from? Oh, he's already dead? Well, okay.
Where's the soul I stripped out of this body? I need to
This
put it back.
meat sack is faulty.
Anyways, so...
What's the return policy though?
Return
I'm wondering-
policy.
I'm wondering if Kelsier and Yasna are going to be lovers now.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
they're gonna fuck.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't put it past them, right? Wait, no.
I mean,
yeah,
they're both in
no.
Shadesmar now,
yeah,
so, you know.
yeah, that's valid.
So anyways, we get our chapter 43, The
I mean,
Ghost
hey man,
Bloods.
he made fire. I'm sure he can make other things too.
Just gotta grab them from the physical world and drag them into Shadesmar. So the epigraph for chapter 43 is, and thus were the disturbances in the Rev Toperkey widened. I can't say that. When upon their ceasing to prosecute their civil dissensions, Nalan betook himself to finally accept the Skybreakers, who had named him their master, when initially he had spurned their advances and, in his own
You get
interests...
that kind of a name.
Basically,
Break the sky.
I think all of the... Oh, the Skybreakers, you mean?
Yeah, how do you get that name? Break the sky.
It's one of the order names. Skybreakers.
But- So you break the sky.
Apparently. Refused to in his own interest, refused to countenance that which he deemed a pursuit of vanity and annoyance. This was the last of the heralds to admit to such patronage. From Words of Radiance, chapter 5, page 17.
Would changing gravity be considered breaking the sky?
Good question. So what do you
No.
think about Nalan Ilin being the last of the heralds to accept being the master of one of the Knights' Radiant Orders?
Who?
Nalan Ilin. He's one of the
Who?
heralds.
Oh, I don't remember this dude's name at all.
I read it out before Skybreakers, but you got distracted by Skybreakers.
Yep, I did.
So basically, all
I
of the
remember that name,
heralds,
though,
like,
even when I was
they
reading
have
it,
like
yeah.
I think like a special, like reverent name which has the Elin, like Talana Elin, Nalan Elin, things like that.
Yeah.
For short, he's also called Nalan.
Nail in the coffin.
So yeah, apparently Nalan
Didn't we get
was the herald that the Skybreakers' powers were based off of. So he was the last to kind of like accept the Radiance following him.
Who's the herald that fell in front of Hoyd?
That's
That's
Talon.
the
Yeah, Talana Elin,
Yeah, that's
shortened
fine,
as Town. He is the Stone Ward herald.
That's the line.
Talana Elin.
Same thing. That's what I said.
Talon.
That's what he said.
hmm
Yeah, that's exactly what Darkness said. What are you doing?
Yeah, so yeah, Nalan is the last herald to accept his order, which are the Skybreakers.
The
Why?
Skybreakers. They're breaking the sky. Guys, the sky has fallen. The sky has fallen.
Okay, Chicken Little.
But yeah, the Skybreakers are in like the little circle of radiant powers. They are next to the Windrunners, so they share one of their abilities.
Makes sense. Probably the fucking one that no, I'm lying.
No.
What's Kaladin again?
Kaladin's a Windrunner. The Skybreakers are like they share one of Kaladin's powers.
So I don't understand the naming process.
So it's Seth's
arbitrary.
thing, right?
It could be.
It is Seth's thing.
I mean, remember, there's gonna be one on either side of Windrunners. There's an order that shares each of their powers.
So it's Seth's thing.
One that shares the gravitation power, 100%. One that shares the adhesion power.
So it's Seth's thing.
It's 100% Zeth's thing, yes.
Well, you say that, but Zeth seems to have the exact same powers as Kaladin, even though he has no Spren.
Yeah,
we don't
he
have
has
confirmation
Windrunner
that he has no
abilities.
Spren.
Just because you can make it look like something, doesn't
I'm saying
mean it's the same.
they believe that he has Windrunner powers.
Still can be a little bitch and lie. So.
Yeah, she has lied quite a few times now, so.
She actually has lied before.
Yeah, exactly. She lies all the time when she talks about the one dude telling Kaladin he's a good guy.
You know what? Her obsession with Dalinar really pisses me off.
Yeah,
like, if you like him so much, go be his friend.
Yeah, like, goddamn. Obviously, you think he's very honorable, so.
She apparently does.
Yeah, so why don't you go give him his honor powers?
Kaladin be a Voidbringer. The fuck?
Damn.
He deserves it at this point.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we continue with Shallan's point of view as she wanders through Sabarial's war camp, feeling invisible for the first time when wandering out by herself. Ahead, the market used oil lamps to light the streets since it wasn't an area where you could trust people wouldn't steal the spheres lighting it. Shallan finds herself wanting to draw so many of the people out here, but she needs to keep moving as she has a mission. Shallan eventually sees a woman selling candied fruit, and she goes up to her, offering an emerald mark. The woman's eyes go wide, and Shallan notices that she had accidentally shown a sphere over 250 times more than the listed price. She tries to fix this by saying she needs directions as well. The woman seems unsure, but takes the money anyway. So what do you think about Shallan's little fuck up there?
To be honest.
I were that woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Shallan left, packing my shit and leaving.
Someone's gonna steal
this neighborhood is dangerous. I'm clutching my purse and running.
Shallan basically offered her like a $100 bill when it was like a 40-cent piece of candied fruit.
That was some good fruit. My grapes. I just remembered.
What do you think, Mythic, about her little fuck up with the money there?
Just makes it seem like she's rich.
She is. She doesn't understand money well. She's like, it's just an emerald mark. It's not even a brome.
She really did fuck up though.
She did it. Everyone's like looking at her now. They're like calling her like miss and everything. They're like, oh damn, you fancy.
She is fancy.
Oh, that reminds me of that one audio. Fuck. Hold on, I'll switch it up and then like.
What audio?
The freaking.
There's an audio. We have an audio book or just the audio?
Like a. You know,
like
the one that was
something.
like. You'll see.
Well, I'll see. Okay.
I'm sending it.
Oh, audio? Oh, okay.
You guys can continue though. Like.
All right.
No,
Shallan gets the.
No, we have to stop the whole podcast just for you.
Shallan gets the directions and then takes.
No, I'm on. Honestly, we gotta stop the whole podcast.
No.
Go on.
Shallan gets the directions and takes the fruit and hurries off. The woman had treated her as a high-ranking Dark Eyes because of the money she had offered. So she tells Pattern to follow behind her to make sure no one is following her as she walks. Eventually, Pattern returns to her, startling her, but telling her that no one was following. She keeps moving and eventually finds the building, thanks to the map and the directions from the fruit seller, although it was one less block away than the woman had said. Shallan knocks on the door and a dark-eyed man opens it. She stops herself from shifting uncomfortably before walking into the building. The flooring was wood, which was weird for Shallan, and she eventually is led to some stairs leading down to a basement. As she heads down, she notices that it seems like this hole had been cut out of the stone before the war camps were made, meaning that people had settled here in the past. Once in the basement, she sees a trapdoor leading to a basement for the basement. She heads down the ladder into a well-lit room. A man that reminds Shallan of someone catches her attention, but she soon recognizes that he is not who she thought he was. He aims something at her, or actually a target behind her, and she quickly jumps out of the way with a yelp. What do you think of the Ghostbloods' hideout?
Sophisticated.
What do you think, Darkness?
Like I said, I expected a lot more culty stuff
than like a fancy basement in a basement. So the man does not believe Tin to be unwell, so Shallan lies and says that due to the sloppiness of her previous job, she wanted to work through an intermediary. The man says that he could kill Shallan, but she replies that if he doesn't, then she will be able to meet the people that Tin would not have introduced her to. The man then offers her money to give Tin's location, but Shallan replies that if she did that, then she wouldn't be of use to him, as he would know not to trust her. She also claims to not know where Tin is, so torturing her wouldn't be useful. He asks if she really thinks she can be useful to him, and she insists that she could be, and holds his gaze. Shallan eventually sits down when the man seems to agree she could be useful, and a woman sits down next to her. The woman has dark eyes and is wearing a carapace mask that the skin almost seems to be starting to grow around the edges of. Shallan eventually gets up and glances at the trinkets in the glass cases, recognizing some of them, but not understanding others, such as some sand, a lock of golden hair, a tree branch with unknown writing, a silver knife, and a preserved flower. So first of all, what do you think of this masked woman?
Repeat the question?
What do you think of the masked woman?
Oh, that's kinky.
Okay.
You know, I find a lot of the people in this book attractive, and then I just see their personalities, and I'm like,
What did you think of the masked woman, Mythic?
She's gonna become somebody very important real
Mm.
soon.
My wife.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also,
Sorry.
did you recognize any of the items that Shallan did not recognize?
What were the items?
It was some sand, a lock of golden hair, a tree branch with unknown writing, a silver knife, and a preserved flower.
No.
Darkness, you
Wait, say it again?
Some sand, a lock of golden hair, a tree branch with unknown writing, a silver knife, and a preserved flower.
Don't tell me. I want to think more on this now.
I've got the first two, an idea of the first two.
Okay. What do you think about the first two?
Well, the sand just reminds me of like either the sand that what's his name used to tell that one story.
Boyd?
Yeah, or the sand from that one place.
I believe the sand that Hoyd used was sand from Taldane.
Yeah. Okay. I had a feeling for that.
So yeah, so the sand is white sand from Taldane.
Yes. And also, would the hair be from an Elantris person?
I think the hair is actually from an Iriali person, which is I find it weird that she doesn't recognize it. Because the Elantrians have
Really?
silver hair. And like the Iriali people are said to specifically have golden hair, not blonde. So I feel like maybe she just hasn't seen any Iriali people, but
Who the fuck are you, reality people?
remember we met one person from Iriali in one of the previous not epigraphs, interludes. It was the people who believe in the one.
I am the one.
Oh, everyone is like comes from like this one god, and they like separate themselves into a whole bunch of people to experience things, and they will eventually all come back to be the one again. They specifically have like golden hair and golden eyes. So the other ones are a tree branch with unknown writing, a silver knife, and a preserved flower.
The flower is probably from. Oh wait, there's two places I think the flowers could be from, and it's either that one Warbreaker place, or you know how the flowers sprouted and everything from Mistborn at the end of Mistborn. Yeah.
So yeah, the preserved flower is, I believe, from Warbreaker. It's like the special dye flower, the flower of Edgley.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, what were all there?
There's also a tree branch with unknown writing, a silver knife.
I don't remember the tree branch.
I don't
Or the
either.
silver
That's
knife.
what I'm like confused about.
So the tree branch. I'm gonna be honest. I also have no idea about the tree branch. That is the one thing I don't know is the tree branch. But the silver knife.
It could be that one. Wait, no, he wasn't floating on the tree branch.
I don't fucking know what the tree branch is.
I thought there were.
It's a
more
wand.
things than that, though.
Did you say Mythic?
There was more things than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's a bunch of things that she recognizes. These are the things she didn't recognize. Because she's like, oh, there's like a Thansid skull, and there's like some other stuff. But these are the specific things that are like things from other worlds. Yes.
Wait, what was the dagger? Or
the dagger, the silver knife is from Threnody. It's the thing that they use to ward off shades.
Oh.
Remember, they specifically use silver.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna remember that.
Yeah. So the silver knife is from Threnody.
They do use silver to ward off them, right?
Yeah, so they use silver to ward them off, and also Silence uses a silver knife to like stab the shades so that they like leave them alone.
I really want to know where that branch is from.
So I looked it up. It looks like it's from Yolen, which is Hoyd's planet.
Which we don't know.
We don't know. So the thing is, he has a published work that is considered not fully canon because he's going to rewrite it. So apparently that's where it's from. But I haven't read the books. I don't want to confuse myself with like stuff that's not fully canon. Yeah. So they've got so basically, Mraize has a whole bunch of fucking items from other worlds. So what do you think about that?
Like I said, there are a bunch of people that came from other worlds.
Yeah, so it sounds like at least Mraize is probably a world hopper, so he's probably not from Roshar.
Well, I mean, like I said, I feel like with your comment from earlier, It's gonna be some person, like somebody that we know is,
Mhm.
ahead of the whole thing.
Imagine
So,
it's Spook.
my next question is, because Mraize is a world hopper, do you think Mraize has just randomly joined a Rosharan organization, or do you think the Ghostbloods are a world hopper organization?
World Hopper organization.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll find out more in.
Doesn't make
I'm not gonna
me
say
want- doesn't make me like
everyone
them.
there's a world
Doesn't make
hopper.
me
Yeah,
like
it
them
might not be
anymore, though,
everyone
but
there, but I'm saying, like, do you think the organization as a whole is from like
doesn't
somewhere
make me
else?
like them anymore, though.
You probably will, considering who's in it.
If it's Kelsey, yeah, maybe.
What if it's Spook though?
No, it's not gonna be Spook. Spook would never.
Imagine if Spook's
Spook
in
would
charge of the
totally do it.
Ghostbloods.
Spook would never.
Spook, King of the Ghostbloods.
King of the Ghostbloods.
Yeah.
So Shalon then leaves,
Ghostblood King.
keeping her composure until out of sight of Mraize and the people with him. As she leaves the area, Pattern tells her that the woman with the mask is following her. She breathes in some stormlight and tries to cover herself in another illusion, but she finds that without a reference drawing, she fails to do this properly. She wants to try sketching while drawing, but knows that won't work due to the darkness and moving while trying to draw. However, she can draw a wall. She rushes ahead and then ducks into a doorway and puts an illusion of a wall over her in the doorway. Shalon hears someone move nearby, and then after a bit asks Pattern to check for the woman, and he tells her that she is gone. What do you think about Shalon's illusion to hide from the masked woman who is following her?
You know, that shit works a lot how Shadesmar's thing works. Where you just like
Mhm.
pop out a campfire.
You have any thoughts, Mythic?
About what?
Her wall illusion?
No.
Okay.
She just uses illusions, I think.
Got all sorts
Is
of
what it is.
illusions. Illusions and soul
Yeah.
casting are her abilities.
Just lies.
She's a
All
freaking
lies.
Sharingan user.
She's just a lie. She's just a liar.
Shalon's wall illusion and her disguise fade as she runs out of stormlight, and Shalon hurries back to Sabariel's manor. She climbs back in through her window, hoping no one had seen her, and crawls into her plush bed. Although her adventure had been terrifying, she found herself excited by what she had done that night. She was no longer the girl that had been sick trying to steal from Yasna. She wanted to prove herself to Mraize to get more information, but she also needed to get to know Adolin more to align herself with the Colin family. And then we have our final chapter, chapter 44, One Form of Justice. And the epigraph is, "But as for the bondsmiths, they had members only 3, which number was not uncommon for them, nor did they seek to increase this by great bounds, for during the times of Madasa, only one of their order was in continual accompaniment of Urithiru and its thrones. Their spren was understood to be specific, and to persuade them to grow to the magnitude of the other orders was seen as seditious." From Words of Radiance, chapter 16, page 14. So what do you think about there only being 3 bondsmiths?
I don't know what the fuck a bondsmith is.
It's one of the orders.
Right. No.
No, that's crazy, man. I would have guessed that.
But like, what do you think about like the fact that there's apparently in the past there was like thousands of like Rin runners, there's thousands of light weavers, and then there's 3 bondsmiths.
They're probably the most powerful, you know?
What if they're the ones that can like enslave like
Yeah, Bond.
Spren? They're the ones that became evil and changed the way Spren work when they're around them.
Mhm.
Also, what do you think it means that their spren were specific?
Like chosen by them. Instead of the Spren chosen.
You think they
Them,
chose the
yeah.
spren instead of the spren choosing them?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what I want to be. A Spren. No, I'm joking.
You want to be a Spren?
I am a Spren.
Oh. What
He's a-
Spren are you?
He's a darkness spren.
No, he's not.
Got to face you didn't just go for
No,
that.
he's definitely a light Spren.
I would totally be a light Spren.
Your spren is a light spren.
Yeah,
You've
you're definitely a light Spren.
seen how pale I am, I might as well.
You just glow. So we switch back to Kaladin's point of view as he enters the Light-Eyed training grounds with his men, feeling out of place even in his uniform, as the Light-Eyes tend to ornament their uniforms with fancy buttons, embroidery, and gemstones. Renarin is with him and asks to be relieved of duty so he can train with his shards, and Kaladin agrees. Kaladin then has 3 of his men go to agreed-upon watch points before he, Moash, Teft, and Yake go over to Zale. Kaladin says he wants to accept Zale's offer to train and wants the 3 with him to also train. Zale replies that he hadn't agreed to train 4 of them, but tells them to do 40 laps around the training grounds anyways, while he finishes his game where he's throwing little colored rocks in a drawn circle. They instantly go to do so, but Zale stops them and says he just wanted to test to see if they'd be willing to follow orders. So what do you think about the people Kaladin chose to have Zale train?
Who was it that he chose again?
He chose Moash, Teft, and a guy named Yake, who I don't think we've actually had introduced to us before.
That's why his name didn't sound familiar.
Yeah, I don't recognize Yake at all. I think he's like obviously one of the bridgemen that Kaladin wasn't close to before, because apparently Kaladin has like 30 or 40 guys in Bridge 4, but then like we really only know like a handful of their names.
I didn't like him, Loki.
You like
They're
Yake?
not important.
No. He literally
not
grabbed that
important.
shit so fucking like
He's like, what's this little
Rudely.
stone? Zale's like, don't fucking touch my stones.
No, when he grabbed the sword, he was like, yoink. Like,
Oh no, that was
bitch,
Moash
calm
who did
down.
that.
Was it?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Moash.
Moash.
Taft went to reach for it, and Moash was like, nope, mine.
I thought it was.
No, it
I
wasn't.
forgot his name already.
No, Yake didn't do that.
Yeah,
Well.
Yake didn't yoink nothing, alright?
I was gonna call him yoink for a second.
Also, I don't remember if you remember from Warbreaker, but I'm pretty sure the game Zahel is playing is like a
It's in
smaller
Warbreaker,
version
yeah.
of like those like throwing balls that Lightsong like did not understand the rules to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of when they were explaining it. I was like, pretty sure. I
Like
know
that,
this
like the
game.
football field looking one.
Yeah, like
That's
he
what
made
I
like a very
yeah.
miniature version of it. Because they basically like had this giant field that they had like different zones, and they would throw like basically like shot puts across, and like they had different colored balls that like gave different points and stuff like that. And it was like super fucking complicated. Lightsong like never tried to learn the rules, but somehow always won just by throwing random balls.
Because he was a god.
So are the others with him.
No, because he was a god. They weren't.
They were also returned.
No, they were. No,
The way
they
he
were
died was
fake
so fucking
gods.
annoying to me.
He was 100% a god.
Yeah, so apparently Vasher likes that whatever that game was. He's a big fan of it.
I
'cause he
bet.
plays it in his free time. He gets annoyed
Doesn't
whenever
shock
anyone
me.
moves his fucking stones.
Well, yeah, because it's probably ruining the game.
Yeah, he's like, I'm in the middle of this fucking game. Stop like putting it away. It's like if you're in the
Yeah,
middle of a chess game and need to walk away for a minute, and then you come back and someone's put away all the pieces.
People just picking up the pieces. Like, what the fuck, guys?
I
was
kinda-
literally winning that
I kind of want to do that. Look,
with myself. Was winning the game with myself. God
Right? He's like, I got
That's what he
such good points, and then you fucking put it all away.
that's what he gets for playing with himself in public.
Damn. Yeah, exactly. Totally, Darkness.
Oh my gosh. So Zale then briefly goes to give Renarin some orders, telling Kaladin he isn't their master, but just an interested party. He also calls out to not touch his colored rocks as Yake picks one up curiously. Kaladin watches as Zale has Renarin eat a full lunch in his shard plate, and Kaladin notes that he wants Renarin to learn how to be delicate while wearing it. Zale then brings over a shard blade and has each of Kaladin's men try holding it, saying Dalinar has suggested it. Kaladin, however, refuses to touch it, though, as Syl gives him a look, saying too many of his friends had died to one, though he'd happily try defending against it.
No, he just doesn't want to touch it because he knows if he touches another one, it'll get lost to him again.
Yeah.
Everyone around him is just gonna die
Yeah, exactly.
by his
Cursed.
own hand.
Curse. Kind of wish he would do it though. He would pick it up and then go kill Adolin with it, but you know.
Wow.
Wait, no, is it Adolin? Adolin's the one that's fighting everybody, right?
Yeah, Adolin's the dueling guy.
Yeah, that's who I want him to go fight.
Why? Adolin's great.
Because obviously Kaladin would win.
I don't think he would win.
I think he would. I think Adolin sucks. I think Adolin's just, there for show.
Adolin's a great
He's not
guy.
really that good. He's not really that good of a
You don't
duelist.
understand how precious Adolin is. He is a golden retriever.
Oh,
I like
wow.
Renarin more.
I don't
I
trust
agree.
Renarin.
Renarin's definitely better.
Zale agrees and picks up the blade, wanting to get a guard, but Kaladin says not to, as he needs to be afraid. When Zahel first swings it at Kaladin, Kaladin freezes as he thinks of Dalit and the others who have died. However, the second swing, Kaladin has to move away from it. As he keeps dodging, he eventually turns when he sees a shadow out of the corner of his eye. Adolin was there and gave a nod to Kaladin when he saw his training, both of them silently acknowledging that they needed to train to fight the assassin in white.
Once again, fuck him.
He's a good guy! Adolin's one of my favorite characters.
No, he's a little
Especially the one-
bitch.
What was it? What's his
Especially-
name? Fuck. The one from
It's-
Warbreaker? Right? Or no, not Warbreaker. Was it Elantris?
Oh,
that was in, like, the red
Mistborn?
armor?
The guy,
No, the one that was in, like, the red armor.
Oh, the red armor? Oh, fucking Harassment was
yeah,
from
That was
Elantris.
it, yeah, that was Elantris, right?
I
What
liked,
was
yeah,
his
I
name?
liked Harassment. I thought you were talking about Breeze from Mistborn.
No. The guy that had the red armor. What was his name?
Yeah, that's Harathan.
Harathan?
Yeah.
That's what this dude. When you say, "Oh, I like this," or "I like Adolin so much," that's what he makes me think of.
No,
Okay.
Adolin's nothing like Harathan.
I don't like him now because of that comment he made about the dark-eyed women.
He was trying to joke around with Kaladin, then he got really
No,
awkward. when
no,
Kaladin
he's
didn't
getting
joke back.
cancelled.
Oh my gosh.
Cancelled.
He's getting cancelled.
100%.
Adolin's just trying. He doesn't have a lot of friends. He's just trying to be friends.
Yeah, for a good reason.
Either does the other guy who came in and wanted to be a part of their Bridge Four,
Renarin?
right?
Exactly.
He doesn't have any friends
Renarin's
either.
taking the right fucking steps. He didn't
Renarin-
insult the fucking women that has dark eyes. Like, what?
Renarin
Exactly.
and Adolin are great friends though, and brothers. So if you like Renarin,
If
you
I,
need to like
if
Adolin.
I don't like
I don't-
one, I have to like the other. That's so That's not right.
Adolin can literally save Kaladin's life, like lay down his life for him, be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," like this. I'm not gonna like him no more.
Oh my gosh, Adolin's the best boy.
I don't care about him. I don't.
Zaelin says he needs to go train Renarin and has a female Ardent come to train him on sword stances.
I'm gonna regret these words.
You
You're gonna
are.
regret what words?
He'll never like
Me
Adolin.
hating Adolin.
You're gonna love Adolin later, and then you're gonna be like, "I'm sorry, he's the best. I
No,
want to marry
never.
him." That's what you're gonna say,
Fashion.
Darkness. You're gonna
Never
be
gonna like
simping
him.
over Adolin. I can imagine it.
I already
It's the
simped over
same-
Adolin. I
it's the
can't
same
do it
thing.
again.
It's the same thing as the one dude. I can't remember his name from Warbreaker. No, was it Warbreaker? The guy who was friends with the sister, and then, or like, teaching the sister how to do shit, and then all of a sudden was a bad guy in the end.
Oh, Denth.
I never
That's
liked
it.
him. I don't
That's
think.
it. Dent. I like Dent.
Yeah, you in Mythic liked Denth.
Yeah, he was awesome. And then
I
he
was
became a
the
bad
first
guy,
time
and
I
was like,
read
"Fuck."
Warbreaker, I was so betrayed by Denth and Tonkfa being
Yeah,
bad.
man, they were so good. I mean, I never liked Hanva or whatever the fuck.
Tonkfa kept killing his
the guy who-
pets.
the guy who kept
girl.
losing his pets.
Oh, the fucking Jules who was obsessed with the
Yeah,
fucking
Didn't
her
she fuck
dead
that
boyfriend.
corpse?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
fucked the dead
Yeah, she was
boyfriend.
fucking the corpse. Yeah, she's fucking her corpse. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Jules is she's got some issues. I don't
She
think
has
anyone
some
likes
screws
Jules.
loose for sure.
All I can think about it is, let me just send that audio too.
Oh my gosh. Zaelin says he needs to go train Renarin and has a female Ardent come over to train them on sword stances with some wooden swords. They practice for a while, and Kaladin thinks that he could make good use of this training, even when using a spear. They eventually take a break, and Kaladin gets some water as his eyes scan the training grounds. He quickly notices Shallan coming in, knowing that he doesn't hold a grudge for the boots incident as he thinks it's just a lighted woman using a dark eyes as a plaything, as per usual. Yake comes over and notes on Shallan's beauty, but Kaladin says a lighted woman can't be beautiful. Yake just calls him strange. Teft, however, mentions that she could be an assassin, which Kaladin hadn't thought of, and he thanks Teft for the warning. So what do you think about Kaladin's reason for not being mad at Shallan?
Why would he be mad at her?
For taking his boots?
Yeah, but she's sending him new ones.
No, she's sending him the same
Yeah,
boots,
and
just with
better
new
ones.
insoles.
Yeah, better.
But especially
better.
new ones. His feet are gonna thank her later.
Yeah, I agree.
She could have been worse. She could have bedazzled them.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, that probably would have been funnier.
Yeah, but like
No,
She
if anyone would
definitely would've had,
bedazzle
like,
boots, it would be Adolin with his fashion,
fashion.
focus. He loves fashion. He would be
You
bedazzling
into that?
boots. So Kaladin then wanders over to Adolin, asking about Shallan being here, and Adolin mentions that it's common for women to want to watch him spar. However, they normally ban the girls from staying as it would get distracting. Adolin also asks if any dark-eyed women come watch Kaladin spar, but jokes about them being ugly, and then laughs awkwardly when Kaladin doesn't joke back. Kaladin then asks if Adolin is really into having an arranged marriage, and Adolin goes on a bit about his girl troubles before realizing he's talking to Kaladin and stopping. What do you think about Adolin opening up to Kaladin kind of by accident?
He's so dumb.
He just wants to be friends.
How are you gonna joke about dark-eyed women to a dark-eyed person?
He's like, women,
And
am I
then be
right?
Haha, they're fucking ugly. Oh shit. Like no.
I don't know, I feel like that's how people joke with friends.
How does dark-eyed men work with getting with a light-eyed woman?
I believe they said in book 1, because Kaladin was almost engaged to Laurel, who was light-eyed, is that it's very uncommon, but sometimes if you're like a super high-ranking dark eyes and a really low-ranking light eyes, sometimes they will get married. But like you have to be like really close in like class rank. Which I think is why everyone refers to like Polona as Sabariel's mistress and not like his girlfriend or fiance or anything, because she's dark-eyed. They're like, yeah, no, she's just like a plaything for him because she's dark-eyed and he's a high
I'll take
prince.
Kaladin as my mistress.
You're not light-eyed.
You don't know that?
I do know that.
No, you don't.
I've seen
You actually
pictures of
don't.
you.
Remember, light eyes doesn't mean that you're necessarily.
Your
blue
eyes
eyed.
are definitely a dark brown.
No, they're not. You don't know that.
Yes, I do.
I actually do have a thing where like my eyes don't stay the same shade, but
I doubt they get light enough to be considered light eyes. Like they basically have to be like orange or yellow to be considered light eyes.
interesting.
But anyway, so Aelin then
Need
goes
to
up to
find some bleach.
Oh my god. Aelin then goes up to Shallan, but she ignores him and heads over to the head Ardent, who she bows to. Aelin tries to jog after her, having to pass by Kaladin.
You okay?
My brain broke for a second. I'm good. Having to pass by Kaladin, who jokes about how Shallan is obviously here for him. Kaladin then wanders over as well to overhear what Shallan is talking about with the Ardent. Shallan is asking to redraw the Shardplate and Shardblades that they have catalogued, as the sketches aren't very well done. She is showing her drawing portfolio to the Ardent, who is impressed and agrees to let her stay and sketch for their records. Adolin says she's actually here to watch him spar, but she replies that she isn't, making a couple jokes about her height compared to the Alethi here. So do you think Shallan is really here just for the drawing, or do you think she's here to be near Adolin?
No, she's definitely just here for the drawing. Who cares about Adolin? Adolin sucks.
She's trying to see what's up with her future baby daddy.
Oh god.
Why'd you say it like that?
I just don't think Shallan would be a good mom. At least not where she is currently in her life.
She'd be a great mother.
No.
A whole lot better than what I have.
You see the way she treats her fucking already child of pattern? Like, no.
Oh yeah, she'd be a great mom. She'd dissociate for 3 hours while the baby's crying and needing to be fed.
It's okay. She can illusion some fucking sparkles on top of him or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, or just illusion a babysitter, you know?
Don't worry, mother's here. Can she just shadow clone jutsu?
Yeah,
they're not
probably.
physical. She says she can like put her.
Okay,
fingers
can
in
she
images.
just
She can
clone?
make
She could
Yeah, she
make a
probably make an
clone
illusion
copy.
of herself, but I don't think it would be physical.
No, but that's
No,
what I'm saying.
but-
The clone. It's because you don't know this stuff, but like
a, be like Yoru.
the clone one, the normal clone ones, is just an illusion.
Oh, okay.
They're
Then
not
yeah.
physical.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be like Yoru from Valorant, right? Where you just
That's
She makes
essentially what I'm
clones.
talking about.
and
Yeah.
it just walks forward, and then
And then it
when
blinds
somebody-
them.
Yeah, and then when somebody does it, she changes the thing to like a bright light that blinds people. There you go. Be a great fighting mechanic,
Shallan
Honestly,
tells-
why can't she just flashbang people?
She probably
right?
could. She's still learning how to use her powers.
But she could.
She is wasting time. She could have already learned all this stuff.
She's learning
She
how to be a
fuck all
rogue
this
first.
No, fuck all this political bullshit.
Oh.
Flashbang everyone you meet.
She's trying to level up in rogue before she levels up in wizard.
Oh god.
She just needs to become a trickster rogue, and then she'll be fine.
So Shallan then
You know,
tells.
I was gonna say paladin instead of Kaladin.
Oh my gosh.
You know, paladin, yeah, that paladin.
You know,
guy.
I'm over it. Forget it.
You're over it already? Oh no.
Shallan then tells Kaladin that she's having his boots sent back
Kaladin?
to him after replacing the soles of them. Kaladin is surprised, and Aelin is also surprised to hear that Shallan had been wearing Kaladin's boots.
That was probably. The
You're
time.
wearing this bridge boy's boots.
He's
Yeah,
like,
no, that was probably
they
the
just
only
give
thing
him
that
no
probably-
explanation either. He's like, why the fuck was she wearing your boots? What the fuck happened? Just
Well,
no explanation.
One night of great passion, you know.
Oh god.
You're losing to Kaladin already, Adolin.
Knocked his boots off.
Kaladin has
Yeah.
no interest in women right now. He's got other
I
things
know,
to worry about.
But yet somehow Adolin is losing in that category.
I
to
know.
Kaladin.
He
It's
basically is at
wild.
this point.
Who the fuck would he end up with?
Kaladin?
Kaladin?
Yeah.
He ends up with. He needs happiness. Kaladin just needs self-love. He doesn't need a partner.
He needs a partner.
He's probably gonna die.
Everybody
It's
needs a
actually
partner.
it's actually a
I've
joke.
been
in the-
saying he's gonna die at the end, like Vin.
It's actually a joke in the fandom where it's like, oh yeah, we ship these characters, and we ship Kaladin with happiness. He needs happiness in his life.
Does though.
He does. That's his ship. He doesn't need a person. He just needs some happiness.
There can't be happiness without. Never mind.
Happiness? Yeah.
Where was I?
That's what you were gonna say, right, Darkness?
You could have,
As Shallan leaves to go
Oh,
sketch
okay.
Renner and Shards, while
but
he
I know what you're
spars.
saying.
Uh-huh.
As Shallan leaves to go sketch Renner and Shards while he spars with Zahel, Adolin calls her insufferable, but smiles brightly when mentioning how she ignored him. Kaladin then wanders off to get some more water, and Moash joins him, having not flinched when facing the Ardent with the shard blade. Kaladin watches Shallan suspiciously until Moash mentions that the king had his family executed. Moash explains how he had been raised by his grandparents. He had been out working with a caravan while his grandparents worked their silversmith shop back in their town. A lighted competitor of his grandparents was friends with Elhokar and had them charged with something or other. They were sent to the dungeons while waiting on an inquest and died down there after being left for months. Kaladin then accuses Moash of being the one to try and assassinate Elhokar. Moash insists that they shouldn't talk here, but says it would be better if Dalinar was king, as Kaladin says their job is to protect the Colin family. Kaladin says he'll turn Moash in, but then says he won't if Moash agrees to stop trying to assassinate Elhokar.
Who came up with the idea that to give them the last name of Colon?
Thinking.
Like, what the?
You guys have commented on the beginning of the first book too.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know,
Why
it's
did
just
we
their
name
name.
Colon?
Doesn't have the
Like-
same meaning in Alethi.
It's a colon.
It's spelled differently. But what did you guys
Colon.
think about Moash being involved with trying to assassinate Elhokar?
Doesn't
I mean,
doesn't
that's pretty
really
valid.
surprise me, to be honest. All of
I
their
would
store
too.
seems to hate them, so hate somebody.
Mm.
I mean, do they really even
Except
need
Rock.
him?
Except Rock.
Yeah,
Rock
Rock's just
doesn't hate
chill.
anybody. Yeah, Rock loves everybody equally.
But like,
Yes.
do they need him though? Like the
No.
king.
No, they don't need him.
People don't seem to
No.
think they do.
They don't need anybody.
So Moash says he'll agree to stop if Kaladin agrees to listen to what the people he's working with have to say. Kaladin reluctantly
working
agrees, and Syl comes over, concerned and asking what his conversation with Moash was
He's
about.
working with the Ghost Bloods.
Kaladin says he needs to learn more about the people trying to kill the king, that he can't tell Dalinar yet. Kaladin then goes to begin practicing again, falling into wind stance. Kaladin wonders about how their country works and asks Syl about what is honorable. He asks if Moash trying to kill the king was right, which she says it isn't. He then asks if killing the Parshendi was right, even if hypothetically one had an honor spren. Syl seems upset by this question and says it doesn't matter because Kaladin has said he wouldn't kill the Parshendi anymore. Kaladin then asks about Amaram, but Kaladin then says he's going to kill Amaram, but Syl asks if that is really justice. So what do you think about Kaladin not telling Dalinar about Moash right away?
Sorry, Syl was getting on my nerves again. Syl was
Syl?
getting on my
Oh.
nerves.
Phil's getting on your nerves. Yeah.
Why is she so nosy, bro? I don't like her anyway.
Probably something to do with the honor spren, to be honest.
I guess, but like, still, like, let the man live.
Yeah, let him live his life. God.
First, he was an actual slave. Now he's just a slave to honor.
But yeah, what do you
Never
think though
slave,
about
man.
Kaladin keeping the not telling on Moash basically?
I mean,
He's gonna fuck up his order.
okay, but like loyalty.
Not very honorable.
Do you think it's gonna fuck up his bond with Syl?
Yep. Not very honorable.
Mm.
It'll be fine.
I didn't say it wouldn't be fine. I'm just saying it's gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, probably.
And then he's gonna have to do something to remedy that situation.
I hope at some point Syl's like, nah, you fucked up too hard. I'm going to Dalinar. See you later. And then he has
I mean,
to like,
she seems to like him way more, so
I can't stand her.
Zahel eventually comes by, and Kaladin asks about the move Dalinar pulled off in catching Zest's Shardblade. Zahel calls it the last clap, but calls it a stupid move as it usually fails. Kaladin just nods in response, agreeing with Zahel's assessment of the move. Zahel then tells Kaladin to get back to practicing. And that was the end of our chapter, so overview questions. First of all, do you think Shallan is going to be able to keep working with the Ghost Bloods without revealing who she is?
No.
never.
I'm pretty sure after that meeting, they know.
I don't know. I don't think they know, but I think they're probably a little more. They're suspicious of her for sure.
I think they know. They got people in the camp. They're spying on people. You know, like, ain't no way they don't know.
Also, do you think Shallan is going to be able to keep Tin's death a secret from the Ghost Bloods?
Not at all.
I literally said they already know.
Mhm.
Also, I think Mythic's kind of already answered this, but who do you think Moash is working with? I think Mythic said he thinks Moash is working with the Ghost Bloods.
Yeah, that's valid.
Who's Moash?
Moash was the one who wants to kill the king.
No, yeah. Ghost Bloods for sure.
Could also be fuck, if it, you know what would be so bad?
Mm.
If it was Sadius's wife.
Oh damn, he's working for Eli?
Yeah, and then like it's connected to Sadius, and they literally was.
Her name was Ellie.
Her name was Eli.
I said it was Ellie.
I know that was the joke. Travis.
Yeah,
Oh.
Eli actually has like a dark-eyed intermediary so that Moash doesn't know he's working with Light Eyes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Do you think Kaladin is going to have to betray Moash and tell Dalinar about what's going on?
Who the
Yes.
fuck is Dalinar? I'm joking.
Really?
I'm joking.
Okay.
Yeah. No. No.
Maybe so. Yeah. No. Maybe so.
Well, it depends, cause like if he continues, then yeah, he's gonna probably tell him. But if he doesn't, there's no point. Or he could tell him, and they could be spies. But an honor spent person working in subterfuge, like,
That's more a Lightweaver thing.
yeah.
Alright.
Any more questions?
No, that's my last question. Do you have any more theories or thoughts?
That's all your overview questions?
Yeah.
Are there courses on like hosting a podcast? Cause I'm joking. I'm joking.
That was so bad, Darkness. What the fuck?
It's a joke. I'm joking.
Holy shit.
Midnight.
Oh my.
Thought you guys liked playing games with me afterwards. I guess I'll just not play games.
No.
Just go cry in my room.
It's a yoke. It's fine.
I'm dying.
Wow, laughing at my pain, Mythic.
No, I'm laughing at Darkness's audacity. Oh my god.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of just slipped out. I regretted it as soon as I said it.
Even Vivian's like, wow, Darkness, I'm disappointed.
Oh, we do this all the time, Darkness. How are you this bad at keeping it hidden that we don't like her?
Wow.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
god, that was so good though. Oh my god.
Alright.
Okay.
So for next episode, we're doing chapter 45 to 48. 4 chapters.
Yay!
Yeah. 4 chapters. And so yeah, so thank you guys all so much for watching. I'm sure you like me more than they do. So yeah, we'll hope to
That's
see you
crazy.
next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That's